Hi, everybody. It's the Bravo Babe,
And Bravo T with the stay-at-home mom
and we're back again with our monthly check-in.
for all things Bravo.
So we're excited to be back with you guys for, yeah, like I said, our monthly check-in on all things Bravo.
I know, and I feel like it's like our holiday check-in. Last time it was like around Thanksgiving, and now it's
hmm
Christmas time.
I know. Are you excited for the holidays?
I am, and I have to show you, look at my sweater. And for all of those that are watching, my
Ooh.
friend gave it to me. It says, she came to my house Christmas Day. She brought me sprinkle cookies. I said to her, Melissa, nobody touched the cookies you brought. I threw them in the garbage. You know what my favorite cookies are? Pinoli
Pinoli
cookies.
cookies.
That's all I said.
I love
I'm
that.
like, "This is, like, the best sweater ever, thank you." I said, "I'm wearing it on my monthly check-in with the Bravo babe, and I can't wait to wear
And
it."
where did you say you got it from?
I don't know where she got it. I'm gonna assume, like, Etsy, but my friend gave it to me.
Yeah, we'll find out and we'll like tag them in it so they know.
Yes, I know, because it's actually really comfortable too. It's, like, soft inside, and,
Ooh.
the printing on it is nice, you know what I mean? It's not,
hmm
like, all, like, chintzy.
Love
Yeah, it's
that.
cozy. I love it.
Yeah, so we're recording this on Sunday. Christmas Eve is on Tuesday. I have absolutely nothing wrapped,
Oh,
like
really?
nothing. Yes, I know you said
Really?
that you're going to get your wrapping done, like hopefully today. Hopefully later tonight,
Well, so I did
tomorrow night, I
actually do
will.
it. Yeah.
You did? You did all of it?
Okay, good. I did do it, and then, we had to just go to the store because we have Christmas dinner, so we had to get, like, everything. Tomorrow we will food prep, so Monday we will food prep. We do, like, 5 pounds of meatballs, I do my homemade sauce, we do trays of baked ziti,
That
we
sounds
do
amazing.
broccoli rabe, long hots, we do, like, the Italian Christmas, and then
So it's
for
a
my
lot of prep. Yeah.
sister-in-law, yeah, my sister-in-law will do the 7 fishes on Christmas Eve, and that's
Oh.
a lot of work
hmm Oh
for
yeah.
her, so yeah,
Well,
I like
that's
my
fun.
sister-in-law.
Right?
We know Teresa and Melissa won't be spending the
You would
holidays. Wait,
accept her sprinkle cookies.
yeah, like, I don't even want those. The pinoli cookies, for if people don't know, they're made with pine nuts, and they can be dry.
Oh.
I think that's weird that Teresa said those are her favorite ones, and to each their own, but I made them one year, never made them again. But speaking of that, are you gonna buy Melissa Gorga's sprinkle cookies?
So I just saw that I think they're sold out right now, and that she said that she's gonna bring them back around Valentine's Day. Send me a PR package,
Mm.
Melissa.
I know, me too, girl.
We'll review them for you like Bethany Frankel.
Yeah, because like, no shade, they do look good,
hmm
and no shade to anyone out there that doesn't bake or doesn't have time, but I make all my Christmas cookies, so I really didn't wanna buy her box now when
Right.
I have all my own cookies,
hmm
but I would do Valentine's Day. I'll tell my husband that's what I want.
Right. That's like a cute idea. That's different.
Yeah, can you believe that is, like, still happening?
How many years was it? Did it say 10, 15 years or something?
Yeah, because that was, like, season 3.
But that just goes to show you, like, when there's an iconic scene, it's just like it transcends, it goes through time.
I know. So did you see, like, Teresa put "You're welcome"
I saw that.
on Twitter? And I'm like,
I
"Wait, I
mean
thought you
that
don't follow her."
I mean that was like a little cute shade, but also like it shows that you still pay attention, that you still care. It's
Mhm.
making you think it's gonna make a headline, so you posted it, that kind of situation, you know?
Yeah, I feel like she acts like she doesn't think and talk about them, but she does because I've listened to her podcast and I'm like, you bring them up. And then for like the Teresa stands, it's kind of annoying that they're like, oh, Malire. They call her Malire. And
Mhm.
Joe always used Teresa as a storyline. And I'm like, so does Teresa, though.
Right, it goes both ways. It always did.
Yeah. And it's like, if they didn't talk about each other behind their backs on camera, we would all be mad. So I'm like, they both have to.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
would
but
definitely try the sprinkle cookies. What else? What would you try out of any of the Bravo Labs like products? Like what is something that you haven't tried but you want to try?
oh, that's a good one. Well, I'll, like, reminisce on one that I had, like, a long time ago and used to buy all the time, the Skinny Girl, like, pre-bottled margarita.
Wait, I swear me too.
Yeah, like, in college, like, I'd be like,
Yes.
"Yeah."
It had
So I'm
like
like,
9% alcohol. We were like living.
yeah, because Back then, that was tasty. Now I make my own, so it'd probably not taste good,
Mhm.
but back then it was like, "Oh, this is so much better than that yucky mix that's all that sugar in it."
Right. And I remember it being like the go-to like pre-made mixed drink for a while.
Yeah, and she had a pina colada when I tasted that, and I was like, "That was okay."
The popcorn was always good. I saw that
Yeah.
she just reviewed Meredith Marks caviar and said that it was superb. So I would
Oh,
be
really?
so down to try that. Yes.
Did you see she reviewed Harry Hamlin's sauce? And she's like, "Oh, it's awful." And she's eating, like, sauce out of a jar, like spaghetti sauce,
Mhm.
and then one of the daughters wrote to her and said, "You need to put it over spaghetti," which true. So she did, and then she's like, "Oh, it's still awful."
Oh, no, I didn't see that part.
And I'm like, "Wait, that's so mean." I feel like he looks like a good cook because remember when he did, like, the little garden in him and
Mhm.
Lisa's yard, and
Right.
he would make that pie and stuff? So it looks like he's a good cook, but this can be the issue when these people do this. It's not him in his kitchen cooking, it's,
Right.
like, manufactured and
Yeah,
jarred.
it's mass produced somewhere else. So it's not,
Yeah,
I mean, he gives his recipe, sure, but they're not going to use the same fresh ingredients that,
right.
I wouldn't assume they would.
Right, and they have to put a preservative in it for shelf life.
Right.
So it's definitely not
Ugh,
gonna taste the same.
no.
I know, I'm trying
But
to
she's
think what
harsh
else.
with her
Ramona.
reviews. She's harsh.
No, I know. I, like, don't really, like, follow it though, like, I'll see people post it or I'll see people mocking her, but it's kind of fun.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know
No,
how
it
I'd
is. I
feel.
enjoy following her. I do.
Yeah. When she was doing all the, like, returning makeup to Marshalls, I'm like, "That's weird."
And speaking of Bethany Frankel, I am waiting or wondering if she is going to bring up or talk about James Kennedy at all. With her reality reckoning and
I
her
know.
interview with Rachel that she did before. And Rachel talked
Yeah.
about, even like the Graham of it all and how she thought he was abusive with Graham. So I'm wondering if, I don't know if
Yeah.
she still does like weekly podcasts, but I was wondering if she would mention it or bring it up.
I know, and what do you think about Lala's point of view? I'm gonna tell you what I think about it. I thought,
Oh,
like, it's different if you don't talk about James because I do sometimes understand if they don't wanna take, like, a firm, hard stand against people, but also they're not gonna be filming the show anymore together, so it's like, whatever. But the fact that she didn't really go into the sobriety end of it because that's very important to her, like, she should have said, like, I'm really, like, disappointed that he fell back from his
mhm,
sobriety, and I hope that he gets help. Like, just
right.
say that. Instead, she's like, "I actually don't even think about James and Allie." That's what she said on her Amazon Live, and I'm like, "Okay, you don't think about it. You definitely sit in your home and talk shit with your mother and
Mhm,
think about it. So tell us what you
right.
think about it."
Right, absolutely. I feel like, okay, so first of all, I posted about this and I had a long caption about how I felt about it.
Mhm,
I watched it and I watched it twice because the first time I watched it, I was like, "Oh, that was an okay answer." Like she didn't say anything.
mhm,
But then I thought about it again and I was like, "Wait, she didn't say anything." She didn't say like, "I don't condone DV and what James Kennedy did, and I support Allie going forward." She just said that she reached out to Allie and said, "I'm here if you need me." Why couldn't she add in, "And also, I have not spoken to James because I'm not, you know, I don't agree with what he did." She didn't condone it at all, and
right,
also, it was an Amazon Live, and the questions come in, and you can choose what questions you read and answer. She
right,
chose to read and answer this question. So for the people that are saying, maybe Allie asked her not to talk about it, or she was trying to be polite, or she's not allowed to talk about it, well, she chose that
mhm.
question.
I do think that's a good point. You said not allowed to talk about it. I feel like some of them do get nervous with all these cease and desist we saw people give each other. Like
Right?
Tamara went a little far, in my opinion, with the Ryan stuff, but he
Tamara
kind of
likes to
wanted to
throw
probably
out
talk
those
about it.
cease and desist letters, we know
Oh yeah,
that.
you would know. You would know. I mean, I would be nervous to be on reality TV nowadays. It's like I feel like people can't be as open and real because they're afraid of getting canceled or getting cease and desist.
Well, Lala did not help her image with her answer whatsoever.
Mm-mm.
My comment section was flooded with people saying that she should have taken a stance and say, it doesn't matter how close you are with James, how, friendly you are with James. Like, there's a line, and the line was crossed, and
Yeah.
it needs to be discussed. It's headline news. You went so
Mhm.
hard and made millions of dollars off, Scandival and send it to Daryl. You were actively involving yourself in Scandival. So don't say now that you know, sit back in your home and don't worry about other people's relationships when, that's not true.
How telling is that, though? It's basically like she's saying also, "Since we're not filming together, he's not my friend."
Right.
Like, I'm not even talking to him, which she probably honestly isn't. She,
Right.
to
Which is
me, seems
fine.
like a recluse, can
Mhm.
be, which is funny to think of because when we watch the show, it looks like, oh, you're going out all the time, or like you're popular, or you're on TV. So, like, you're
Mhm.
just doing this. But I feel like she sits at home and watches Bravo, which is funny. Like, she watches all
Yes.
the housewives and stuff and taking care of the new baby and stuff. I, I bet she just talks to Sheena.
I'm sure she Ooh, hold on, I'm sorry. What are you doing, girl? Go back upstairs.
She wants to
Hi.
talk all things Bravo.
You want to talk all things Bravo? This is my middle child, Rosalie. Can you go back upstairs, honey? Mommy's talking to her friend. Okay. Bye. Bye. Can you go back upstairs? Look at the earpiece is in because I'm on the phone. Yeah, my earpiece is in because I'm on the phone. So can you go back upstairs? Okay, go back upstairs. Love you.
See, this is what Lala and Sheena would be.
Right? Love you. Close the door, okay?
I
Thank
know, which
you.
I was hoping we were gonna see, like, if there was gonna be a next season of Vanderpump, we would have seen the new baby because we never see Ocean
We don't, and
because
I
of
don't think we're
Randall.
allowed to, right? Because of
Mhm.
Randall.
What a douche. I mean, it's like she's on social media and we know she has the kid, and if they were together,
Mhm.
he wouldn't care, but it's just something to get on her nerves.
Right, just something.
Yeah,
Oh,
just something.
well, and then speaking of the James Kennedy of it all, so Lisa Vanderpump,
Yes.
knowing, I'm assuming, because James was being actively investigated. And there's no way Lisa Vanderpump didn't know. We know that she's not a girl's girl. We know that she doesn't support women. She just made a dig at Kristen and saying, does she know who the father of her, child is?
That
Which
was
is
appalling.
appalling. So, I mean, and it's been years and years since Kristen and LVP have interacted or had any kind of situation. And for her to still be harboring this on Kristen, and I don't know if she thought
Mhm.
it was a cheeky joke, but Kristen tried for a very long time to get pregnant. She's very much in love, and she's on the valley where Lisa Vanderpump is, a producer, a creator, all the above. She
Yeah,
knows
which
damn
that's
well who
awkward.
it is.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, Kristen and Jax had their thing way, way back, but since then, was Kristen really a cheater announced to
Right.
us?
No, and I don't think that she had any, significant, I don't know, significant flaw. And, after that, I can't think of something that she did to Lisa Vanderpump to have her still make these digs
Mhm.
at Kristen.
Do you know what I was thinking of when, like, I saw all that and I was like, "That is such a disgusting comment to say aloud and have recorded." I was thinking of the scene when Kristen was, like, smoking the cigarette and she's like, "Suck a you know what" to Diana,
Yes,
and then I was like, "Now we need to change the word to Lisa and just
we
send her that."
absolutely do.
Like,
Speaking
that
of
was rude.
changing things, I posted that Tom Schwartz is now the number one guy in the group after all the James stuff happened. But I would like to retract my statement, and I think that it's now Ken Todd that's the number one guy in the group.
Oh my gosh, Ken. Whenever I think of him, I always think of the "Goodbye, Kyle," and then I think of the "I can't believe Raquel was in the hot tub."
And in the jacuzzi with Raquel,
Yeah, and
the
then Katie's like,
plotted,
"What?"
so staged.
I know, because then he, like, left with the dog.
Yes.
He, like, dropped the bomb and left.
Oh, Rosalie, what are you doing, honey? You want your disco ball pillow? Sorry, everybody, I stole her pillow. Here you go.
She's like, "That's really why I'm here."
Okay, you have to go back upstairs. Okay, bye.
Goodbye, Kyle.
Goodbye, Kyle.
Tell me about seeing Tom Sandoval, though. That's wild.
Oh
And
my
you saw
goodness. Yeah,
before they
back
got
on
all
Vanderpump.
crazy on Instagram.
I know. So I enjoyed myself. It was a good time. He and Victoria, his girlfriend, were in Chicago at City Winery for a
Mhm.
Vanderpump Rules trivia night. I
That's
connected
fun.
with Victoria on Instagram and I was like, okay, I'll come and, you know, meet you and hang out and we can watch the show together type of situation.
Mhm.
I got there and she immediately took me backstage and I, said hi to Tom, met Tom. We had
So
like
fun.
a pre-show, just like hangout,
Mhm.
talked about random things, got some tea. We FaceTimed with another content creator, Thea. Your moms are watching. Shout out to her.
Okay.
And then we FaceTimed with Sheena, who was with Lala and Brock.
Oh, she was with
And
Lala? I didn't know
yes,
that.
yes, she was.
Interesting.
She was with Lala, and that was an interesting FaceTime. And then also when Tom got on stage, he decided that he wanted to FaceTime Sheena, and she answered the phone, and she was with Lala and Brock. And Brock kind of almost immediately took the phone, so I'm thinking Sheena passed it off to him because I don't think she was expecting, even though they had talked to her, Victoria had talked to her backstage. I don't think she was expecting Tom to call on stage.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hey. Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
No, she probably doesn't wanna be associated with it.
So it was a fun show. Victoria, here, hold on. Here, honey. Look it. You gotta go, okay? Oh. Okay, we can. Oh.
I can't believe all that stuff then came out later about Tom and Victoria. That was after you saw them, all the Instagram stuff. So finish telling me
Right.
about City Winery, but then we have to talk about them being like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on
Yes.
Instagram.
Okay, so City Winery. It was an enjoyable evening. Victoria definitely supported Tom. She was very interactive with the crowd and going around and talking to people. She had high energy. I will say that I don't know the last time if Tom Sandoval spoke, he said that he was drinking or not. He definitely is drinking.
Mhm.
So he's not sober. I don't know if I don't think at the reunion maybe he had said he was. That was a while ago.
Mhm.
Regardless, so good time. Then afterwards there was a meet and greet and I had already obviously met and hung out with them, but I stuck
Mhm.
around. We hung out. It was just an overall fun time. I had good energy from both of them. I had been worried because I'm like, okay, great. Tom Sandoval is going to say the Bravo babe is coming. Why? Have you seen her page? It is the biggest like anti-Tom Sandoval, especially at the height of Scandoval page. However, it was like no judgment, just hey, what's up? Thanks for coming. Glad that you're here. Super welcoming. And
Maybe
then
that's
it
why he wanted to
wasn't
invite you.
right. He wanted to get his image intact or at least
Correct
try
it.
to. So, I mean,
Yep.
personally, I have good things to say. So, I mean, hey, it worked.
Yeah. Do you think it can be an act? Like, remember how Ariana then later said that? Or
Oh,
Jax said that
absolutely.
when they were fighting? Mhm.
Absolutely. It totally could be an act. And speaking of Jax, Victoria also tried to FaceTime him
Oh, really?
and he did not answer. He texted
Interesting.
her back, but yeah, he didn't answer. So she was trying to get everybody involved in some way in the City Winery show.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yes.
what do you think about, like, do you think she influenced him to kinda drink again? Because I feel like she looked a little tipsy in your video of the
She
2 of you.
definitely was feeling herself and having a good time. And I don't know if she influenced him to start drinking again, but I know they definitely like to drink together. So maybe that's something that they
Yeah.
like, I don't want to say bond over, but when they, hang out and they are together, that's what they do. That's their thing.
Yeah, which especially, like, if you're traveling around doing these things, like, it's at a place where they serve alcohol. People
Right.
are drinking because no one's really going to these things and not having a drink. I mean,
Right.
unless they're sober, but like I would definitely go and have wine or
Mhm.
mixed drinks while I'm there.
Exactly. Okay. I'm gonna ask if we can pause for a second and we can like cut this part.
Okay.
I have to get these girls back upstairs really quick.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Okay, sorry. Girly girls. Okay, give me just 1 second.
All right. Or I could still talk. I could still talk.
Either.
So once Christina gets back, we will discuss everything about Tom and Victoria Lee Robinson that happened later that week on Instagram, them being a little crazy. I screenshot everything and recorded stuff. So I feel like even if they then go back and delete it or was basically in their stories, we all saw cats out of the bag. We see everything. We're definitely going to get a little more into James because I know Christina and I have very opinionated views about the whole thing. I'm wondering if Allie is going to stick it out. She's doing the Airbnb with her family. So we'll discuss that stuff. One interesting fact that I saw right before we got on this, it said the Good Guys podcast, Ben Sofer said Craig is Paige's soon to be hubby. Does that mean there's like some secret engagement that we don't know between the two of them? Or is he just saying that because we just assume and think they're going to be on the path for engagement? But I definitely thought that was really interesting. I'm liking Southern Charm thus far. A little excited to see everyone just take down JT because I feel like he's just a no-go with the Cane Gate. I loved the apology letter. I feel like we'll get into discussing that too because Whitney was just totally judging the letter, saying like, "Yeah, you better be nice to my mom." I was just chit-chatting about Southern Charm a little bit.
Okay, thank you. You mean mom life, right? It's in your name. Bravo T with a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, mom life, guys. See, my kids would maybe be like banging on my door and interrupting or like screaming, and my husband be texting me, but they are at my parents, so we could Christmas prep. So it's a lovely, peaceful night.
It is. So we left off with Tom and Victoria. So it wasn't even like 48 hours later where she posted that Instagram story
Yeah,
after I
okay, so
had
that's
seen
what I
them.
said when you left for a minute. I was like, we're gonna get into all of the Instagram stories. So like how freaking wild. Like, do these people think we're gonna see the stories and then forget? Like, just because you don't make a post that stays forever, like we're all screenshotting it and looking at it. And then him
Absolutely.
ripping the cigarettes and the Coors Light at like 5 a.m. Like that means you didn't even go to sleep.
You were up
He's
all
probably
night.
like,
You didn't
he's like, what are you
sleep.
doing?
And for you to go live at 6 a.m., like
Yeah.
it's not happening. You're not there.
Could you imagine like people like waking up, like working out or like getting ready for work, getting their kids
Oh,
ready
girl,
for
that was
school?
me.
And
I
he's
was getting
like,
myself
yeah,
ready and
he's
I was
like,
watching this live and watching him, rip his beer and a cigarette, talking about nothing. He was talking in circles. We did not get any answers. We don't know
I
anything
know.
from that whatsoever.
How creepy was the one that he was like, Victoria made a mistake? And I'm thinking, like, do we need a wellness check? Is she like dead and buried in a backyard now?
Right? Like, what happened? What do you mean?
I know. I mean, he probably was like, what are you doing? Like, I got death threats when I went through the thing with Ariana. You can't put on your Instagram story alluding to me cheating with your
Mhm.
friend with like
Right,
no proof, like just paranoia. Like he's going to get nailed to the cross. He's a public figure. It's not like
right.
like random people here.
And in that very small window where there was a break between the stories where she posted that he had made a mistake and then posted that she didn't mean to say what she said. He got so much
Mhm.
hate in those hours. So it
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's kind of like we'll bring it back to the James thing. Like it took a while and then he made like a lame post on his story,
Oh,
just said like continuing to work on myself. But like, how much do you need to work on yourself? Like, how much do you need to lose? And he's lucky he always got back on the show.
right. And he's
Like,
saying that he wants to work on himself and this and that. And it's like you can only use that so long, you can
mhm,
only say that you want to I'm working on myself. I'm going to better myself. Okay, that's great.
mhm.
That's not an excuse.
Yeah.
That's not an explanation. That's a cop out.
Yeah.
That's you saying nothing. That's you saying nothing.
Yeah. He's blaming, like, him choosing to have alcohol on, like, why he did that. He's basically saying, like, "That's really not me, that's the alcohol." And it's
Right.
like, "Yeah, but
You're
you as
exactly
you
right.
chose to drink."
Yes. That you're
Which I
exactly
do
right.
believe. I think, like, if he doesn't drink and sticks to that, he is a good person, and a
I'm
lot of people
sure.
are.
Right. I'm sure everybody is, but at the same time, good people don't body slam their girlfriends to the ground.
Yeah. And, when I had, Donna Bowling on, we were talking about, like, how many times did the neighbors get weird vibes that they actually ended up calling the cops? Because like, we're loud in my house. I'll be, like, disciplining my kids or, like, I just speak loud in general. Like,
Mhm.
my neighbors don't hear us be loud and automatically go, "Oh, there's domestic violence. Let me, like, call 911."
Right, right. So I feel like for them to call, I mean, and then for Allie to also tell the police, like, no, this is what happened. She was not messing around. She was not going to let what happened slide. And I am proud of her for
Mhm.
that. It takes, some people, the cops will come and they'll say, it was just a misunderstanding
Yeah.
and everything's okay. We got loud with each other. We've been drinking. We're going to go back to bed. They could
Yeah.
say all of those things, but she didn't, and for that, I think that she showed a lot of courage. It was a big step to say out loud, "No, this is what James did to me."
Mhm. I agree. I mean, it's sad, and then I saw that she's, like, at the Airbnb with her family, but
Mm,
also, how does your family ever like him again?
right, there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, it's not like he
So
just,
she
like,
has
said mean stuff to her.
right, she has a lot of decisions to make. I feel like the Bravo community has really, like, surrounded, positivity with her.
Mhm.
I feel like I don't know if you get this vibe. I feel like there's a lot of people who are not talking about the James Kennedy situation. Like we said, Lala isn't, Sheena
Mhm.
hasn't, Kristen has, but I'm curious to know if what do you think is the reason why?
I think it's because they don't wanna, kinda, like, shit on him, but also it's like, Sheena, if you're really never gonna be his friend again, then, like, who cares? Or maybe, like, it's more because of Allie. That'll get her even more backlash. Because just think if, like, Sheena and Lala sit there and totally go into James, then Allie will look like a fool if she stays with him, and then we will, like, nail her to the cross, and
Mm,
she doesn't want that.
right. And I don't know if you remember this after Teddy and Tamra months and months ago on Two Teas in a Pod said that they witnessed an Allie and James situation. Sheena had
Mhm.
Allie on her podcast to clear that up.
I remember that. As soon as they said
Yes.
that, because I listened to both episodes back when it happened. It was,
Mm.
like, from some award show, and they
It
were
was like
like,
the
"Yeah, it was,
iHeart
like,
Awards or
weird."
something, right?
Yeah, and, like, again, cease and desist. I don't think Tamara and Teddy were making that up. Because 'cause let's say that totally was false, they would be sending them a cease and desist letter.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that's reputation ruining if you're alleging that someone's, like, being violent with their girlfriend when they're really not at all.
Right, right.
I know,
And
I feel bad. I really thought he was gonna change after the whole Raquel thing. He was on top because he used to, like, people used to hate him and stuff, but now everyone, like, liked him again on the show because they saw Raquel was like, "Oh, she's the bad one, it's James is fine," and then he's getting all these DJ gigs.
I think that we were being, like, pressured to love James. Like, I love James. I
Mhm,
totally was, like, a James fan for sure.
mhm,
But I feel
same.
like we were being, like, pushed to love him, and behind the
Yeah,
scenes, he was being investigated for some serious misconduct, and what I know is that the serious misconduct goes back to season 3. So,
that's wild.
yes, he has been I don't know, he has been, like, thrown in our faces as a reformed good guy,
Mhm.
but he's not, and he hasn't been, and they've known it for quite some time.
Do you think it's because Lisa has, like, a relationship with him outside the show and before the restaurant and everything because of their family and the friendship with the son? Do you think she's the one that was almost, like, making production make him look good?
I could see it, but at the same time, like, James punched Max and broke his nose before. You know,
Oh,
the
yeah, I forgot about
relationship
that.
yes, so the relationship with Lisa and James, I feel like I mean, it can only go so far outside of the show, it's not like they're texting each other and hanging out. I don't know why Lisa cares so deeply about ma James' opinion of her and what she says.
Yeah, and then riddle me why, Stassi, Kristen, and Jax were fired, 3 of the best people on that show. And James got to stay, but he's being investigated. They got fired for insensitive comments,
Mhm.
but don't we all make insensitive comments?
And
To
from
be
what I
honest.
know, there was no investigation, they were just fired.
Right. There was no, like, warning or anything.
Right, just like Ramona was investigated, fired. Um, who else did we have? We
I mean, if you think
had
about it, Teresa went to jail and didn't get fired from the show.
right, and we also had, oh goodness, who am I thinking of? Oh, Ramona. She was being investigated and they canceled RHONY.
Mhm.
So it makes zero sense to me why James was being investigated, thrown in our faces, given DJ gigs at BravoCon, attended BravoCon. Hold on, you gotta go back up, honey. I don't get it.
I know, that's just not fair. Like,
There's
it's hypocrisy. Have the same rules for everybody.
right, absolutely.
And obviously his is worse than some of the other people. They were just saying maybe not kosher comments about things, but his is like violence.
Exactly. It goes beyond.
Yeah.
Did you
Uh,
see, switching gears for a minute, have you seen, I saw that Mauricio was from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, was photographed with two different women in like the span of 3 days. And then yesterday he was just walking around with Kyle, like no big deal. She, I'm like, what is this woman putting up with?
Okay, well, not putting up with let's get into a little bit of Beverly Hills because do you think that she was, like, upset with him about some things, said, "I don't want this," was, like, so goo goo gaga with Morgan Wade, then that didn't work out, now she's regretting this with Maurizio?
I don't know. I feel like she really, when she stopped drinking, when her friend passed away, she kind of like transformed as a person, and we really saw it happening. Um,
Mhm.
so I feel like she is such a different person than she was when she was married to Mauricio, even though it's only been not even maybe it's been about 2 years since all of, the stop drinking and everything. Um,
Yeah,
so I don't know if she regrets it. I don't think she does. I think that
because she seems
maybe
sad.
she does seem sad.
Or, like, when she said, not this, like, last episode, the episode before, or maybe even 2 episodes ago, she was like, "Yeah, he has the condo, a 6-month lease, and we're gonna reassess in 6 months." It's like, "But reassess what?" Like,
Mhm.
him like, what is he gonna move back in? Like, does he get, like, a 6-month vacation of your marriage, and then, like, do you want him to move back in? I just don't know if she didn't wanna say any definitive answer, so she didn't look stupid, and it's
Right.
always, like, 50-50 with her, like, a very political answer, I feel like she's
And
never
that's how
giving us
she
too
said that
much.
she was raised, and that's how, she does everything,
Yeah.
how she right.
I just, like she was just on Watch What Happens Live. What was it? Was it this week? Or was
Maybe
it
the
last
week
week?
before, I think the week before.
Yeah, and she still, like, hasn't seen his condo, and then Andy was like, "Oh, how do you feel about, like, you guys dating people?" So, I guess if they're gonna, like, date people, they're not gonna get back together, but I still feel like they're not divorced, and they're not saying, "Yeah, it's done 100%."
Mhm. they're giving us, like you said, like very politically correct answers.
Mhm.
And I mean, we saw more on Mauricio's Netflix show than we saw on Beverly Hills last season, and now the Netflix
Mhm.
show is canceled. But it is really like Kyle controls the narrative when it comes to what she talks about on Beverly Hills and what they show.
Yeah, or like Dorit is giving us so much. Like episode 1, she's like, "We're separated. PK's an alcoholic." Like he leaves for long periods of times. He never sees the kids. Like it's like, "Oh my god, telling us everything."
Dorit was throwing everything out there about PK these past couple episodes, and it's like, you've been harboring all of this for so long. I mean,
I
I'm
know,
glad
it's
that she like
sad.
found her voice and she's like using it, but I think that she's
Mhm.
using it towards the wrong people.
So I watch like all this stuff with my husband and I was like turned to him at this past week's episode and I was like, "Can you believe she's saying the 10 and 8-year-old children don't know that they're separated yet? They're not telling them, but he's just not there for 2 weeks and didn't speak to any of them for 2 weeks." I said to him, I said, "How awful is it that that's like normal and the kids aren't like, 'Oh, where's dad?'" Like
It's
you're not even calling Dorit to talk to them. I didn't like that.
I didn't like it either. I found it weird. And I don't know, is that like a normal thing in other parts of the country? Can somebody let us know? Because
I
I
don't
have
know,
never
and
heard
I
of that. Is that
mean
like an LA thing? Because that was just sad. That shouldn't be the dynamic.
and it's like, I get, like, he doesn't wanna talk to Dorit, which is, like, so sad because she's like, "We talk multiple times a day." He's like, "That's gonna change." But it's like, "Yeah, but do you wanna talk to your kids?" Because then my
Right,
husband's like, "Maybe they have a phone." And I'm like, "I mean, like, maybe, but they're 8 and 10."
right.
But who knows? Possibly they do, and then maybe he is calling them on their phone.
I mean, I hope so. I
Because I thought that was weird.
It is. And I think it's weird how, I mean, she came very hard for Camille, and I don't blame her. I'm not a huge Camille fan, but it's just like another example of like, where has this Dorit been? What have we been seeing the last few seasons? And is this all because of the PK situation, or like what else is going on?
I know. I do have to say, though, I loved her being so mean to Camille at that party. She's like, "I'm sorry, Camille, why are you here? Why are
Mhm.
you here?" And it is true. It's like, "Why are you in this powwow? You're not on the show." But she was in the powwow strategically. But it's so funny that she's like, as a matter of fact, when my house burnt down, you weren't nice to me." And I'm like, "Girl, like, go
She said, "My
away."
assistant died, my house burned down."
Yeah. That was wild. And then Erica was definitely she forgot Erica's name.
I know.
She's like, "And
That
you?"
made
And
my
I'm like,
mouth open.
"Oh
I
my."
said, Erica,
Yeah, it's like my dad probably even knows who she is just because of the Tom Girardi scandal. So it's like
right.
the fact that you've coincidentally forgotten her name, like, no, it's not working.
I don't even know if it was shade or if she really was just like so unbothered and so la di da that she forgot Erica's name.
Yeah, I don't know. And Erica was like, "Erica, I'm Erica."
Erica. I'm Erica. And
I
then her
love her this
confessional, she
season.
called her see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. I know, which Kyle is just like so against, and it's just like you were, like, at one point not even friends with Camille.
But then she was like a bridesmaid in her made for TV wedding.
Oh, I know. And then it was funny, like, when she first came into the party, she's like, "Oh, yeah, how do you feel about everything?" She's like, "Yeah, men will be men," because like, Kelsey Grammer cheated on her, but then Kyle's like, "I don't like that she's comparing the 2." And it's like, "No, but Kyle, your estranged husband is, like, being photographed with, like, women in towels skiing."
Multiple
That's when
women.
that all
Right.
came out. Remember when he was on ski
Hmm.
slopes?
Yes.
Like, my husband was like, "Oh, he's definitely not getting back together with Kyle. Look at those
No.
pictures." I mean, it's just weird. It's like you ignored him last season, and that was painful to watch. It's
Mhm.
like he could have, like, said hi to her, and she wanted to, like, stab him.
Right. And it was so awkward when he tried to kiss her and she like forced it away.
So awful. And now she's, like, crying, and she's like, Yeah, maybe he'll come move back in." And I'm like, "What?"
No, he won't. No.
Yeah. And it's
Mm-mm.
like her and Morgan Way were definitely together. They definitely broke up because she's nowhere to be found. She wasn't at Kathy Hilton's Christmas party.
I was expecting to see her there. They were in Africa together about a month ago, and now I'm wondering
Oh,
where is
really?
the documentary that they were working on or said they were working on the last year and a half?
And why are you going to Africa with her
A
and she's not
safari,
your
right,
girlfriend?
right,
Like, I love my friends, but, like, we're not like I'm not leaving my family to go on a really expensive vacation. I mean, I know they
right,
have more money and can do that, but, like, it's not like it's your birthday.
right.
And if it is, like, shouldn't you go with your family instead of, like, well, I don't know.
I
I
don't know
think
if they
she
had
thinks we're all stupid. Like, you're not fooling me.
no, and she plays into it too because she knows when there's going to be, photo for paparazzi, and she knows when she goes to an event that she's going to be photographed. I mean, yes, maybe she doesn't care. Maybe she's just like let people think what they want. But now, maybe if they're not together, that's why she won't mention her name. Maybe they had some kind of situation because of all the press.
Yeah, and I feel like Kyle, like, at this point won't say, like, "Oh, yeah, like, now we're together," because then we would all do the math and say, "Oh, well, you were together back then and you were actually living and married to Maurizio, you weren't even separated, so you were having infidelity."
Right.
That's why I think she's just sticking to, like, "We're not together." But speaking of together, when you were on your little break real quick, I was saying right before I signed on here, I saw Ben Sofer from the Good Guys podcast made a comment and it said, "Craig is Paige's soon to be hubby." So now it's
Oh,
like, wait, like, is there a secret engagement or is he just like saying that?
I hope there's a secret engagement because I love them together. I think that they're like such a together
I
couple. They
know.
always look so good whenever they, are in public together. Like, I just love it. I feel like they are just good energy. So I hope they're engaged secretly.
I know. I wonder if they would get engaged before they live with each other. Do you think?
I don't I'm Their situation is so complicated,
I
with
know.
who is going to move where.
I know. It really stinks that they're not closer or in the same spot, but I hate that it even has to be like a choice. Oh, I think I just lost Christina. I don't know where she popped off. Um, but I really hope we see Craig and Paige stay together. I think they're great together. I think that we're gonna have to wrap this up because I think Christina's kids were it's stay-at-home mom life, guys, but we gave you a lot of tea, and I hope everyone has a really good holiday.